Morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is a cloudless Wednesday morning. We had a glorious sunset last night. A number of my neighbours caught it on camera, even over Rivy. If we go to the top of the hill over there you can see Rivy. But Summer Wells, how many coincidences does it take for something not to be a coincidence anymore is the question that I'm going to be asking today, and it's an open question that I want you to think about and give me your answer in the comments. How many coincidences does it take for there not to be a coincidence anymore? Right, bear that in mind while I talk. Before I get into it, I'll just say that anybody who says that I'm just reviving old content for clicks and views doesn't understand investigation. And it could be argued that what they're doing is piggybacking off my channel to get people to click and view on their own content. I'm just saying. Squall it, thank you. Oh my God. She's put together 7.5 hours of Jodisue Brown talking on Facebook from the 16th of June all the way up to sometime in August. I'm only half an hour into this and I'm hearing things that I haven't heard before. Not that I haven't viewed this content before, because I think I've watched everything Jodisue's put out in those early days on Facebook. The things that she hadn't privated by the time I knew who Jodisue was. So I became aware of who Jodisue was probably in September when she started going on panels and stuff. But who can remember all of that information? Who can remember every single thing that someone said on a video 11 months ago? It's impossible, isn't it? Which is why you've got to go back to the beginning and you've got to listen again. You've got to listen very carefully to this old stuff, knowing what we know now. That's what we've got to do. That's why it's important to go back to the beginning again and again and again. That's what law enforcement do. You might think it's boring. You might think it's for clicks and views. But whatever, it's about investigation. Do you think law enforcement don't investigate every single possible angle, every single possible person connected to this case? Nobody gets special treatment. I mean, I guess they might if law enforcement's corrupt. But let's assume they're not. That's what a genuine investigation is about. So I say again, how many coincidences does it take for it not to be a coincidence anymore? So I'm not even 30 minutes into the 7.5 hours. I'll have my AirPods in all day today, listening to this in chunks. Squalty hasn't put the exact dates on this, but it's very early on in that 7.5 hours. So it's in the first week after Summer went missing, very early on, where Jodisue's coming on Facebook saying, you know, share a picture, share what law enforcement are saying. She's saying all the right things, right? Share what law enforcement are saying. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to rumours. Just share what law enforcement is saying. Say her name. Get her name out there. That's great. Very neighbourly and a good thing to do. However, doesn't mean to say that she's not involved if she's doing that, because we know a lot of people who are connected to a case will get very close to that case, will say all the right things, but that's just speculation on my part. Let's play this clip and let's break it down.
Oh, and you won't believe this. While we're searching for Summer, we go down to the other property. Well, actually, not before, when the weirdo was on our property.
So she's going to check on her other property. Well, Jodisue herself doesn't own 125 Ben Hill Road. And she also doesn't own the other property that she's talking about in the vicinity. But the purposes of ease, let's just go with it. I think she's talking about properties she's resided at. 125 Ben Hill Road and the property that she's referring to are actually owned by Andy's family, her then partner, the Bernards. The property she's referring to, I assume, is the Bernards' property on Fields Road, which is by road probably about just under 2 miles, but through the woods, knowing the trails, it's less, probably about a mile, I don't know, just over. If you use the trails, you know, some of which you can't even see on Google Maps. So let's carry on.
Bought that piece in the yard that's the crust of the bank, and then was arguing against his own survey that he bought a crust of a bank and a vertical cliff, but nobody provided him with that survey. He was sitting on our property, cut through our lines and stuff, whatever, and he parked himself right in the middle of the first 2 no trespassing signs, and had already been told, not, you know, to move, whatever. Anyway, the cops removed him at night. So we were so worried about this guy and how he came off that we went looking that night all the way into Bayless and then every holler in Beach Creek, making sure he wasn't parked in there.
It's a bit confusing because are we talking about searching for summer, or are we talking about you went there on the night of Jackie Dobbs being there? The weirdo that she's referring to is Jackie Dobbs. Now we've got to remember that she said in September on Squall's channel, I believe Squall was the first person to have her on panel. Very few people knew about Jodisue at that time. Like I said, I think I found out about it when she started going on panels. I knew about the scream. I'd known about the scream, but I didn't know which neighbour heard that scream. Anyway, this is the clip from Squall in September when she said Jackie Dobbs was not high on her list, on her suspect list.
I mean, for me, and it's just my opinion, to me, I think Dobbs is really low on my list, even I'm like, something wrong with that guy. But I mean, he's really low on the list for me.
So let's return to the clip of her talking in June.
And look, this guy hit me so weird. I was like, you know, So, there's extra there I'll get to in a few months.
So they went all over the hollers looking for Jackie Dobbs, who they ran off because, I don't know, they said he trespassed. Unfortunately for Jackie, as I talked about in a short video that I put out last night, my time, he was unfortunate enough to buy 2 acres of land next door to Jodisue Brown. So yeah, bad luck there, Jackie. It could have been anybody, frankly, couldn't it? And anybody would have been called a weirdo, because what does that do? It puts in people's minds that there's this strange, weird, out-of-stater who she's already got beef with because he's bought land. That maybe that 2 acres you might have wanted, Jodisue, but the Morlock family may not have accepted your offer, might they not? Is that what you're really smarting about? Is that it? Anyway, I digress. Let's carry on.
But anyway, so we go looking at our other properties, right, Evelyn? And get down there, and the guy who purchased yours has now got a gate up over the county road. Not just back where your all's gate is, but over the fucking county road. And as I guess decided he's just going to try to block it off till he can do it long enough to get adverse possession. So I guess we're 2 properties in this week.
So they went to check their other property on Fields Road. She's actually talking in this clip to somebody in her chat who presumably used to live on Fields Road, because she's saying, you know, they've put, this new person's put a gate across County Road. I mean, yeah, when Scotty Schools was there on Ben Hill Road and in the vicinity, you know, there's just like a public road, and then there's a gate put up, and it's like, you don't get away with it around here. People are just climb over. People are just tear the gate down. A public path, a public right of way is exactly that. Anyway, again, I digress. Somebody's put a gate up, so she's complaining about that. But I'm not really directing your attention to this because of Jodisue complaining about property. Although very, very relevant that she doesn't like out of staters, and she called it the perfect storm because people were in and out of Ben Hill Road looking at the property. She couldn't abide it. Whoever bought that property, she was always going to cause trouble for. And it just so happens, coincidentally, that the very day after Jackie Dobbs appeared, Summer disappeared. Could have been a complete coincidence. Absolutely 100% could have been a complete coincidence. During those days of the perfect storm, somebody took the opportunity. You said that yourself, Jodisue. Somebody took the opportunity. Maybe they did. Maybe it's nothing to do with you. Maybe you're just an observant neighbour. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing Jodisue. I'm not accusing her son. I'm not accusing anybody of this. I'm just trying to put little pieces together and say, how many coincidences does it take for it not to be a coincidence anymore? I said that about Don Sherfy Jr. There were so many things leading to him. But I've got to consider everybody. What if it's nothing to do with him? Even though he's currently out on bond, having been charged with the possession of 1,000 images of child P. Coincidentally, the same charges that Jodisue's associate Frank Light was charged with. That an associate of hers, Randy Haas, was charged with. Coincidences? Yeah, maybe. You can look up Frank Light and Randy Haas yourselves on a Tennessee SO register.
But either way, this guy's put up a damn gate across the county road and locked us out of our driveway that connects with your house. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but it's going to be a couple weeks down the road before we figure that out with this other property situation. This guy's getting ready to start fighting us over like an idiot and lose. So anyway, just thought you'd enjoy that hilarity. It didn't matter. We climbed his fences and went over and got to her stuff anyway and searched for Summer and did what we needed to do so he can bite me. And I hope he enjoys that on camera.
So she went to check this property while she was searching for Summer. She climbed over the gate to get to it. Well, I would have done the same. But you were mindful enough to check your other property in the very early days of Summer's disappearance. Well, it's very good of you. Very observant of you. Because, to be honest, you know, we don't see law enforcement checking Fields Road and Bell Road until February. In the first 10 days, 2 weeks of the search, they concentrated on 3,000 acres, 4.6 square miles, which by my calculation, most probably didn't reach Fields Road. They may have gone over it with, you know, aircraft, but in February they came back and they searched, targeted 2 days, targeted search on previously identified places of interest. One of which was Fields Road, where the Bernard family own a property now. That could be a complete and utter coincidence. But again, how many coincidences does it take for something not to be a coincidence anymore? And for that person or persons to be really looked at, to be really scrutinised. Because what if Summer was moved, either alive or deceased? What if Summer was moved to a property close, but not in the immediate vicinity? What if she was taken inside a property, not in the immediate vicinity? What if that? You have to ask the question. Because if she was inside a property, then heat-seeking technology, the drones, the helicopters, wouldn't pick her up, would it? Would it? I don't know, you guys. I'm just asking questions. I'm just pondering. I'm just somebody who walks through these fields and ponders what's going on the internet. That's all. I ask you to make your own minds up. And I say again, as I said at the beginning, just consider the question, how many coincidences does it take for something to no longer be a coincidence, not be a coincidence anymore? So let me know what you think in the comments below. I've got a long day ahead, listening to 7.5 hours of Jodisue. I'll speak to you very soon. Goodbye from Miss Cassie Springer and a very well behaved this morning, Miss Tillington. Bye guys.